you can't live life with any regrets.
My swimsuit had rubber ducks on it.
I love that.
I'll say this, I wouldn't mess with you after seeing that video.
They say you're more likely to have a son that goes to the Super Bowl than a daughter to go to Miss USA.
There's always a party. Let's go, Paulie.
How we doing? This is looking a little different for us today.
Yeah, if you're on YouTube and watch us and listen on YouTube, we have a different setup today because we have a virtual guest today, Paul. Joining us today is Miss New Jersey USA, Lexi Lakhman. Let's give it up for Lexi. Here we go, joining the show. Paul didn't want to clap for it in the beginning. He was like, I don't know. It's weird if we clap.
I don't know.
You want to get rid of the clap and the dance.
So here's the thing. This is our first virtual show. Lexi, we appreciate you coming on and doing this. This gives us a little prep into how to do this in the future. And, we're New Jersey boys at heart, so it's nice to represent New Jersey and have you on the show here. So thanks for joining us.
Yeah, Thank you for having me. I feel like I'm going to be laughing this entire time. You guys are both so funny.
Well, I don't know about both of us. I am a comedian, so I might be the one making you laugh. Paul, I don't know. He's the movie guy, Disney guy. You like Disney?
I do like Disney.
All right, good. That's the whole show is Disney. We're not even going to ask about your life.
Gosh.
I'm a big Disney guy. Ryan likes to be the funny guy.
All right, Paul, ask the question that we got to know this question.
Okay, yeah. So we're going to start this off. This is Lexi, and you are Miss New Jersey USA.
Yes.
But I have a big question for you because looking into the pageant scene, I don't really know it. Ryan doesn't know it.
Well, I did a deep dive.
Yes.
And then as I did a deep dive on you, Lexi, I realized that my life might be a little shitty compared to her life. She does a lot for the community and stuff. I'm kind of reevaluating my life right now, but go ahead, Paul.
No, but she does a lot. And my big question, and I think you can explain to our viewers, is like a little bit more about the pageant scene overall, because I came to realize, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that there's like a Miss New Jersey, there's a Miss New Jersey USA, there's like so many different, what I was explaining it to Ryan, and I think is a good explanation, is like how different sports have leagues.
Yes.
Right? So if you want to explain that to us and our viewers a little bit, like how that works and what you kind of do.
Yeah, so the system that I compete in is the Miss USA organization. So I'm going on to compete for Miss USA later this year. Don't know when that is yet, but I know it's sometime this year. And whoever wins Miss USA then goes on to compete for Miss Universe. So both of those pageants are nationally televised. They have been nationally televised for many years now. Most people know like the whole thing with Steve Harvey, how he announced the wrong winner. Yeah. That's the organization. That's the organization that I compete in. But there's also the Miss America organization, which is there's nothing at the end of it. So no USA, no America. It's just Miss New Jersey or Miss whatever your state is. And that one's a little bit more scholarship focused. The one that I compete in is a little bit of everything. So you have your glam, you have your photo shoots, but then you also have what you give back to the community and what you believe in and what you stand for. And then there's all other different systems as well.
Paul said there's a Miss South Jersey.
Well, so I actually found this out too. So I have a friend who I went to college with.
Yes.
And she's from Sewell, New Jersey. And so she's the current Miss South New Jersey. And I was
Miss
like,
South New Jersey.
I don't know.
That's not right.
There's just so much going
Yes.
on that I don't know about. We don't really know about the pageant scene. So it's really cool to get.
Lexi's the OG.
Yeah.
She's the OG.
Well, listen, so for her, she's probably for the Miss America organization because you have to win a county before you, or like a town or whatever, to qualify to actually go on to compete for Miss New Jersey. So she probably won South Jersey. I, for instance, just represented Hoboken. We didn't have to win anything else before going on to compete for New Jersey.
I was going to ask that if there was like preliminary rounds.
No, but that's the word. That's what.
I think I butchered it, but that's the word. I'm not gonna say it again. Ryan, just take it.
Preliminary.
But I also saw that you just got back from Cancun.
Oh my gosh, yes, it was so much fun. This pageant has recently been acquired by Crystal Stewart, who was a former Miss USA. So she's trying to make this experience very different for the girls. This was the second time that it's ever happened before. So I was so excited to be able to go on this trip. It was 4 days long. We stayed at a 5-star hotel.
And that was
Lots
just
of
like
amazing.
everybody, like all the states.
So there were 49 of us at the time because 2 girls hadn't been crowned yet. Now,
Wow.
officially, our class is complete. But at the time, we were missing Colorado and Texas. But yeah, it was so much fun. I unfortunately got COVID.
Wait, while you were there, you got COVID?
So I still have COVID right now, actually.
Oh.
So I started feeling off the 2 days after I got back, and I thought I was just overly exhausted from the trip, and I ended up testing positive. So here I am.
I know we would be overly exhausted from Cancun, but for a totally different reason.
Yeah, that spa and that snorkeling. Did you guys go
Listen,
snorkeling?
We did not go snorkeling, but we went
snorkeling.
paddleboarding.
The hardest sport of all time is paddleboarding. I rented a paddleboard
fun.
one time with my family on an island, and the guy was like, all right, you guys got 30 minutes. I was up and back in 5 minutes. I was like, I'm done. I can't stand on this thing. Waves are crashing.
So there were no waves, believe it or not.
Yeah, but when people
it was,
fall, there's waves.
Yes.
When I
Oh my
fall,
gosh.
there's a tidal wave.
Oh.
But you just
Our
paddleboard. So you
chaperone-
guys all went paddleboarding?
So we went with a small group, and our chaperone happened to go with us, and she was so funny. She was so excited to stand up on the paddleboard, and she was like, take a picture, take a video, and as we're doing the video, she falls, and we got her plopping into the water. Her sunglasses, her hat came off. It was like a you had to be there moment, but it was funny.
Did you guys shoot a lot of content? What was the purpose of the trip?
It was all for a photo shoot.
Okay.
That's how it started. So we took our national Miss USA or official Miss USA headshots there. But
Nice.
she also wanted it to be an experience for all of us to really have a sisterhood because that aspect was kind of lost throughout the years.
It's almost
She
like a
wanted-
sorority almost.
It really is. It
That's
really
a good
is.
comparison, Paul.
Okay.
They
She said
say
it really
you're-
is. Let me
they-
go, Paul.
They say you're more likely to have a son that goes to the Super Bowl than a daughter to go to Miss USA. So it really is a
Wow.
unique sisterhood.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. Oh wait, so we definitely want to talk about your journey because
Yes.
we've heard it's been a lengthy one, but it's definitely
Yes.
been one that you're probably extremely proud of yourself for, which is just shows to you like how you have to stick it out and how this might take a really long time to get to where you are. So if you want to, we kind of have some notes on your journey, but I
So
don't.
it was your 7th time.
It was my 7th time, yes.
Was that just chasing like a childhood dream? Just like a kid chasing his dream?
So I started, I'm 26 now. I started
yeah,
when
we're
I was,
25, so
okay, look at that.
look at us.
Um,
Look at us.
and I started when I was 17. So I did
Oh,
take
wow.
Yeah.
I took some time off in between, and I actually didn't know if I would come back and do it. I was stuck in a rut because I was constantly competing year after year, and I had placed always somewhere within the top 5. I was first runner-up a few times, third runner-up, and I'm competing with about 120 girls. So for me to end up so far, but not there quite yet,
Yeah.
you can get really hard on yourself. So I just needed to take a step back and focus on other aspects. When I decided to take a break, I was a senior in college, so I was graduating. I needed to just shift my focus to focusing on finding a career and being financially independent. And so I did that. And then it was in 2020 when I was watching the Miss USA pageant and my eyes just light up.
You just got the itch. It was like, I gotta
Yeah.
go back to that.
Yeah. And my boyfriend looked at me and said, you can't live life with any regrets. And when in pageantry, there is, an age limit where
Yeah.
you
There's like a
you
time
have to-
span.
Exactly, and you have until 28 to do it. So he said, looking back years from now, 10 years from now, if you don't go back and do it, are you going to be regretful? And the obvious answer is yes. So just like putting yourself back out there, it's like learning how to ride a bike again because
Yeah.
I hadn't done it in so long. It had been 3 years at that point. So I put myself back out there in summer of last year, 2021. And I ended up getting first runner up again.
Oh, brutal.
Yes. So at
Dagger
this
to the
point,
heart.
at this point, it was 6 years of me doing it, and 50% of the time that I did it, I was first runner-up. So I was convinced I had what they call the first runner-up curse, and I did not know. I did not know if I wanted to come back again. I just really wanted to be that girl that came back, did it, won, and that was it. And that wasn't my story at all.
You can't be known as the first runner-up curse girl.
No, I can't.
You gotta
I'm
stick
way
it through.
too stubborn. I'm way too stubborn to let my dream go just like that. But it does take a lot of courage to put yourself back out there, because it is a risk, and you never know. You might be first runner up again. You might not even place in the top 5, or you can go ahead and win it all and be an inspiration for others to encourage them to never give up. And I would have not known that, and that story would have been left open-ended if I didn't put myself back out there. So luckily for me, the pageant hadn't been a year since. It was only 8 months, and they said that they were having it in April. So I said, everything's pretty fresh in my mind, and let me just go for it, do it, don't look back, and here we are.
Yeah, good
That's
for
awesome.
you. Congrats. A lot of people would have quit, so good for you. Congrats on the win.
Yes.
What how many times do people usually compete in this? Like, what's the average? Like, you did 7.
No, I mean, every person's different. Some people just want to do it once to see what it's like to compete in a pageant. Everyone has their own different goal. And, you learn a lot about yourself just putting yourself out there, interviewing in front of a panel of judges, going on stage in front of hundreds of people in a swimsuit and an evening gown. And then if you get lucky enough to answer a question on stage in front of an audience, you learn a lot.
That question is terrifying. Those two ladies stare at you while you're answering the question. It's like, can you look away?
I feel like the question, at least from my perspective, and I've done some male pageants that are a little more they're a little more comedy based. No, I did some stuff in college. They're a little more comedy based. My swimsuit had rubber ducks on it, so it's a little different from what you do. But I think
how did you do a swimsuit?
Oh, I'll tell you about it.
Rubber duckies.
Yeah.
Can't just bypass that story.
But the question for me, and like those examples, and I was on a panel too, my fraternity when I was in college, I ended up being on the panel. I was the host for like 2 years, and then when I graduated, I got to be on the panel. And it's always interesting to see the different sides of those things. And the question for me, I always thought was the most important. Do you think is that still a thing, or is that not as important in your eyes?
So I think everyone's different, right? Because all these judges are normal people that you can encounter every day. So they have their own opinion, and they will find something that sticks out in the winner, or who their winner is. And it varies from person to person. For me personally, I think interview is one of the most important aspects, because that's typically their first impression of you. And so if you sound like a winner, or if you say something in that short amount of time that you have with them, then they'll be looking forward to seeing you on stage for your swimsuit and your evening gown. Then once you get to that final question aspect of it, if you kill it, or if your delivery is great, then it just, is the cherry on top that, yes, this clearly is the winner to me. But, everyone's different. Someone may stand out in interview and on stage, but then they may just completely mess up their on stage question, and then they can't be the winner. But some people may let it slide. It really is, I think, delivery.
Yeah, well, you crushed your question, so you don't have to worry about that. But with that being said, the 7 years, was there ever a time where it just did not go as planned for your question?
Or I guess anything in general. Was there ever like a moment there that you kind of had? I know you see the shows, right? Like the dance shows of how much chaos goes on behind the scenes. Yeah. Is it that way in real life, or is it very different?
They try to make it go as smooth as possible. I will say that. 1 year, it wasn't a question that I messed up, but it was during my swimsuit, and this was back in 2016. So when you're in the final night, when they announce the top 15, let's say, every girl has to recompete in their swimsuit and their evening gown. And on the final night, they give you a sarong. So it's like this piece of fabric that you wrap around yourself that kind of looks like a small little skirt, and you take it off and you kind of just like keep it as an accessory.
Yeah.
So the lady who had tied it on me tied it way too tight. So to the point where I was on stage and I was about to take it off, and it just did not come off. because it was literally like triple knotted on me.
Where are the
and
scissors?
it just didn't come off. And I really thought that was going to be held against me because in my head, I thought that we were being scored on taking it off too, but we weren't. And I was first runner up that year, and I was just owning that moment. Mistakes happen. The president of the Miss USA organization, on her final night, it was either at Miss USA or at Miss Universe, she literally fell on stage and got right back up and owned that moment. And I think that's what you have to do in those kind of situations. Confidence will exude, and so you just have to own that moment and be relatable, because that could happen to anybody.
That's what I always say. I don't know what I'm saying half the time, but if I sound confident, people will believe me.
Just got to own it. Yeah, that's a great lesson. I'm curious about the judging, because that is interesting to me. Where
Paul's looking to get into a pageant, as you can.
Yeah,
Hey, I could tell that.
Dude, are these judges strict? Like,
yeah, let me know about the judges a little bit. So how are they picked? And I guess, I assume they're different every year.
There's 3 of them.
Yeah, if you want to explain
7.
the judging situation.
7.
There's 7 judges.
7 dwarfs.
I don't know how they're picked, honestly, because I've never been put in that position where I am picking a judge for the pageant, but a lot of them come from different backgrounds that are relatable to what the pageant, the message that the pageant has. So they could be from the entertainment industry, or they can be from, modeling industry, or they could be, your next door neighbor, for all I know. They could be someone that is qualified to judge, but has a very extensive background in a specific industry that would make them the best fit. And they're kind of coached also, like, what they should be looking for during that weekend. The goal is to find the best representative to represent their state at Miss USA, because the goal is to have your state win Miss USA. So the girl needs to be polished, and the girl needs to have great communication skills and public speaking skills. And I think that's what they're told to look for, and then the rest is up to them. If I'm ever put in that situation where I do get asked to judge, I will gladly share that with you, but I don't know I have no idea what it takes.
So Miss New Jersey USA has never won
Never.
Miss USA.
Never. It has
All right,
to
well, you're going to be the first
right?
one. You have to be the
I
first
hope
one, because
so.
then our video, our views might go up.
Yeah, well, we could say
no
we.
pressure, but we need it. We want to quit our day job, so Miss USA, and then this will blow up.
Well, that's cool too.
I want
blow
to
up
quit my day job too.
We always talk about New Jersey representing, so it would be really cool, especially to know you and interview you now. It would be really cool to see, you do that.
Last question on the actual pageantry, and then we'll get into some other stuff. So when you come in first runner up, you said there's no qualifying stages. So how do you get invited back? Once you're in it once, how does that work?
So the way it works is, initially, if you want to enter, you have to go through a preliminary interview. So it's just a phone interview, and then they'll let you know if you are a state finalist. That's what they're called. But if you've already done it once and you did not win, you are more than welcome to go ahead and compete again.
You get to skip that interview process?
You skip that interview process, but there's still a fee you have to pay to enter. So, it's the same thing every year. I don't have to do that anymore, though.
Are you allowed to tell us how much it is?
You don't have to.
It's like $1,200, I'd say.
Yeah.
Well, I know definitely. I gotta look. I'm looking into it.
Clearly.
So, I can't. The pageant life, I feel is just so expensive. It's just one of those things where I know I really like to golf, and I was growing up in golf, and we both follow golf, and how expensive a sport that is to play. Even tennis or that kind of stuff. I can't even.
All right.
It's you're investing in yourself, right? If
True.
that's what you truly want, then that's what you go after,
That's what
and
we're trying to do.
you make it work.
Yeah.
All right, so you become Miss New Jersey USA, then what? Your life probably gets turned upside down. You probably have a bunch of stuff to do on the daily. What is your day-to-day? How has your life changed since winning?
I am a busy woman. I'm not going to lie. It was definitely a lot of adjustment in the beginning, because I do work a 9-to-5 job. I work in digital marketing at a Fortune 500 company. So that does not stop, but luckily I do work from home, so it makes things a little easier. I don't have to go into the office. I can work from home in my workout clothes if I need to fit a workout in during the day. But a lot of it was just adjusting to me not having as much downtime as I wanted, as I was used to previously. Because if I am at a lunch break or right after work, I might have an event or I might have a podcast after work or something.
Hey, this is fun. This is
fun.
We're hanging out.
This is a lot of fun. No complaints. Just explaining the schedule.
Yes.
I might have a photo shoot. I've been getting a lot more spray tans now, so it's just it's a lot more that you do, but it is so worth it. I mean, I've wanted this for so long, and now's the time to do it because I'm still working from home, so I'm able to make it work. So I'm very fortunate.
So with social media now and like how important it is, do they expect you like certain posts X amount of days? Like you got to post twice a day, and do you run both Miss New Jersey USA social media and your own?
I run both accounts. Oh. Luckily for me, I love it. Like I said before, I work in digital marketing, so it makes things a little easier for me since I look forward to it. But they do. I think they expect you to post maybe 5 times a week. But I mean, there's a little like leeway between the two. Like if it's 4, it's okay. If it's more, it's okay. I mean, it is what it is at this point, but. I try to be as active as I can with my followers just so they know what I'm up to, know that I'm here, know that I am doing this or I'm volunteering here. And it makes it a lot of fun because like I said before, it's only 1 year, so you want to make the most out of it.
Yeah, that is really interesting.
Well, I was going to say, Paul, you think that's always so interesting. Like when we talk to influencers, it's like, how often you have to pose? Like who makes you pose? Like what do you post? Because you do a lot of fitness stuff, and that kind of blends in with Miss New Jersey USA.
Yeah, but I've always loved working out. Like even before Miss New Jersey USA, I've been active since I was 5 years old. Like I did gymnastics, I did swimming, dancing, I did it all, and then. In college, I got really into running, and now I love weight training. So that's just been a part of my lifestyle for a long time.
Yeah, I think we both need a trainer. So maybe
come work out with me.
Yeah, maybe after your run, you get some more free time, and we'll hire you.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
I think she's in the position to hire us.
What do you want to talk about?
So you didn't have any brand deals. What events have you been doing? I know you've done a couple events. I know we want to get to your younger brother as well. He was diagnosed with progressive physical disability called spinal muscular atrophy. So we'd love for you to talk about that because you've done a lot of great events, and we want to let our listeners know how they can help out, how they can donate, and how they can help or what that cause is too.
Yeah, so what he has is a progressive physical disability, just like you said. It's called spinal muscular atrophy, and it's actually a genetic disease. So if both of your parents are carriers for a specific gene, there is a possibility that their child may have SMA. There's a 1 in 4 chance, 25% chance. So I could have potentially had it. And a lot of people aren't carriers, and not many people know that they are because that's not something that you actually get tested for because it's such a rare disease.
Yeah.
But it is an evident disease, and it is life-threatening. So he was diagnosed when he was 1 year old, and at the time the doctor said that he wasn't going to live past the age of 1 because they didn't know what specific type he had, and there's 4 types today. Mm-hmm. And because it was so long ago, there wasn't enough scientific research about this disease to share that with the people, you know? So it was really hard for my family because they didn't know what to do. The advice that they had was just to make him comfortable. And so when we saw that, he's okay, something's not right. We figured out that he has type 2, so that means he can live a long, healthy life as long as we take the right actions to take care of him. And luckily, as the years have progressed, he's 20 years old now, there have been a lot more scientific discoveries of how we can treat it. There's no cure yet, but there are ways that we can treat what he has to help slow the progression of his muscles.
And so thanks to you. Well, your platform and social media, what is it? You said you're the NJ Head Communication Chairman for Cure SMA organization. That's awesome. How did that come about?
Yes. So I actually got involved because of him, obviously, but I got involved when I was in college as a way to introduce him to other people with spinal muscular atrophy. Because growing up, um, he has a very low immune system. So if he were to get sick, if he were to get the common cold, that could put him in the hospital, and he can end up with pneumonia, lungs collapse. It's hard for him to just go like like
Yeah.
it gets stuck. So he was unfortunately homeschooled, and so I think when you're growing up in a house with your parents and your sibling, and you're not really around kids your age, it can be really tough. And so I never wanted that to get to him. I didn't want his mental health to take a toll. So I wanted to show him that there are very many successful people with SMA, and you're at a time where you're going to start looking at colleges. You should definitely go to college. You should definitely find a passion in life. And there shouldn't be anything to get in your way. A physical disability does not affect your future. And so I wanted him to meet people, and the only way he would do that is if I were to push him. So I got very involved.
Dude, she's
And
the best.
That's a good.
This is what I'm saying where I'm feeling bad about myself.
Yeah, that's a good older sibling too.
Right.
Just
It's my
from-
brother.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
my brother. It's so different. So I introduced him to a bunch of kids, or not kids, adults that have SMA, that showed him that they're independent, they're living on their own, they went to college, they dormed at college, they joined a frat, or they became a graphic designer, or whatever it is, that there's so many different avenues that he can take, that maybe not as physical, but it's all cognitive, and you can do that. So that's what encouraged me to get involved. And then I use that as a way to introduce other people with SMA to one another, because if this is inspiring to him, then it's going to be inspiring to someone else too. And so I do spotlights throughout their social media, and that led me to helping put on different events. So we had a Dying to Donate event, we have an annual walk and roll event that I've gotten really involved with, and there's just a lot of different events that we've had where I just raise awareness and generate funds to support scientific research, because my goal is for there to be a cure, and for me to not only see him be able to walk, but for me to be able to see everyone with SMA be able to walk.
All right, yeah, so I think that's awesome what you're doing. Has he looked at any colleges? Like, is he looking around?
So he's actually a rising junior at Seton Hall University. So
Nice.
he's doing it. He's living there on his own now.
Nice. What's his name? Gotta shout him out. Is it John?
Joe.
Joe. I knew it was
Joe.
J.
You're close,
Sorry,
yeah.
You're
gosh.
close.
Joe, shout out. Paul went to a Seton Hall basketball game one time.
I've been to one Seton Hall basketball game at Prudential Center.
Yeah, they're really
and
good.
then- yeah, they are good. They're good. And I was at Seton Hall for the first time. I do some photography as well.
Oh, cool.
So I ended up doing a senior graduation photo shoot at the university in the spring. And it's a beautiful campus, really cool place.
It's really stunning there, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, I feel like a lot of universities up here, other than Rutgers, but a lot of universities up here are very just like closed off from the rest of the world,
Yes.
especially Seton Hall. It's like in the middle of, where it is. And it's just, but once you get in, it's a very
Yes.
beautiful campus.
And it's not too big, too. So it's like,
That's great.
All right, last thing here before we play a little game. I like games, Paul.
That's very true.
But Lexi, you are also a first-generation Ukrainian American.
I am.
Dad and grandparents were both born there. You could stop me if I'm wrong at any point.
no, you are right.
So, can you just touch on some things that you've done for the Ukrainian relief? I know you did a boxing event. How was that? Was that
Yes,
fun?
so that was through UNICEF, and yes, it was so much fun. It was actually taught by a Ukrainian boxer,
Nice.
and it was just, a very intense boxing event, because I just feel like back in Ukraine, like even my dad is like this, when you have a sport, you take it so seriously.
Yeah.
It's like you're training for the Olympics, and so this was obviously a charity event, but I was so sore afterwards. It was insane.
I saw some videos. You were throwing some haymakers. I'll say this: I wouldn't mess with you after seeing that video. I'm not a fighter.
I've taken boxing classes before. I do love boxing, but I haven't taken as intensive boxing classes like this. So it was a lot.
I know everybody always says boxing's like one of the greatest workouts. Have you tried the VR boxing?
No.
Yeah, I heard that's a workout. Well, I'm not want to talk about workouts, but I heard the VR boxing is a very good
Did
workout.
you ever run upstairs? Because that's a workout
That's
to
tough
me.
on your legs, yes.
But yeah,
Don't join him. What
Yeah.
is this?
thank you.
Oh wait, how long are you Miss New Jersey US? Oh, 1 year.
1 year. It's a year thing, right?
Yes.
So when does that? You don't know when that ends?
I don't know when the next year's pageant will be. It might be in April, it might be in March, it might be in May. I have no idea, but I know that I definitely get a full year.
And then what's your duties after? Like you're not just done.
I don't
with
know.
everything.
I mean, I might win Miss USA, so it might not be an end.
Might you are winning Miss USA?
There we go. Yes.
But you don't know when, where that is.
No, I hope I think they're going to announce it pretty soon. I mean, it's probably going to be this fall, so it's coming
what's
up.
that
I know.
preparation going to be like? Like, how do you prepare for that?
So I've actually started my preparation. So
Nice.
besides
Better.
besides looking at the wardrobe, there's you practice your interview, you practice your onstage questions. There's your fitness portion of it, the nutrition. And I am going to look for my Miss USA gown next week, so that's really
Nice.
exciting. Yeah.
I saw you design. Didn't you just recently design a dress?
So I designed 2 dresses, but it was not recent. It was during my journey of
2016.
competing. Yes, in 2016, and I also designed
That's
one
fun.
in 2017. So I've designed 2 dresses, and then I said, well, as I was competing for states this past year and the year before that I wasn't going to go overboard. So I just got something off the rack. But this for Miss USA.
What was that? Like, I just want to design a dress. Let me do it. How does that happen?
So the way it happened was the first year that I did it, they were both with Jovani Fashions, which is an incredible dress designer. The first time I was working at a dress store back in the day when I was in college, and they said that the person that sold the most Jovani dresses for the entire prom season would win a custom Jovani dress.
Nice.
So that happened to be me. Go figure.
Congratulations.
This had just
Thank
happened.
you.
to
Just
me.
happened, yeah.
I'm a
As if she wasn't
hustler.
like hustling around, like, oh, wow.
I am a very hard worker. And
you
so then the following year, Jovani Fashions had a modeling competition, and I decided to enter it. And so there were different rounds of the competition, and I ended up winning it all, long story short. So,
That just happened to win that too.
so they gave you a credit towards Jovani that I
Nice.
used towards making another custom dress. So that's what
That's dope.
happened. That's not
That's
normal.
awesome.
That's not
That's
normal
dope.
at all.
That's cool.
Thank
All right,
you.
so I guess we get into this little game, Paul.
All right, so we're gonna play a
It's
game.
not even that great.
All right.
No, but it's a good game. We'll get to know a little bit more about you
Yes.
personally instead of rest of the pageant stuff. So simple game, called This or That.
Okay.
So we're just gonna do a few questions here,
Yes.
and we'll just say which do you prefer?
Yes.
All right, first question: would you rather travel alone or travel with friends?
I'd
Travel
rather
with
travel.
friends.
I don't know. I wouldn't either.
Was I asking you? Thought we had a guest here.
Oh, you're sorry.
Let's-
You're right.
How many friends? I would say a small group of friends.
Okay.
Yes, because
I feel like-
I don't like it when it gets too crazy.
Yeah, I feel like when you get a lot of friends, everything just gets really difficult
Yeah,
to
and then,
plan.
Yeah.
and then their bad influences on you. What about because we all have significant others. I'd rather travel with my significant other than alone or with friends. Do we agree as a group?
I don't know. I think it all depends.
It
I think
depends
they're
where you're going.
very true. I think
Cancun.
we could have 2 very different Cancun trips.
I'm with the friends in Cancun.
Yeah.
Cancun, small group of friends. Tulum, big group.
Yeah.
All right, next one. Live in New York or LA? Did you live in New York or just around there? Just because Hoboken's near there.
I have. I
Oh.
lived there for 6 years.
Was it like a box?
So I went to college there. So I did the dorming life, and then afterwards I lived in Fidei. I lived in West Village, and yeah, those were the 2 places that I lived in. But Fidei was definitely like a box, and I lived with 2 other girls, so there were 3 of us. But West Village, I got a little bit more room. I love
like
New York City. I love New York City. I think that it's not the same as it
It's
was
not the same. I
before
said that.
COVID.
I just recently went there. It doesn't have the same buzz as it used to.
It's not the same, but the food is really great. So I like being able to see it from my window, but I prefer Jersey. But
It is
the
really
question was
Oh.
New York City or LA.
Or
so
LA,
Yes.
yeah.
I don't know. I guess New York City.
Yeah.
I heard LA is not that great. I'd like to go to LA because neither of us have been there.
have been there.
I do want to go there, but I don't know. I haven't heard great things about it, so I would say New York.
Yeah. I've been seeing a lot of videos where people talking about how they've been moving out of New York and they've been living in like Jersey City or Hoboken. I have
Yeah.
some friends who live in that area and talk about how much better it is on
You get a lot more
this side.
space. You
Yeah.
get a lot more space. It's a little cleaner. I mean, I'm not going to talk bad about New York City because there's no city like New York City.
Very
but
true.
I do prefer Jersey.
Okay, great. Yeah, Jersey all the way.
I love Jersey.
Next question we have for you is: would you rather own a house or travel the world? Do you like to
Can I
stay
do
planted?
both?
Nope, can't do
Why
both.
can't I do both? I'd
Because this
rather-
is our podcast, and we make it.
This is a hypothetical game that you have to answer the question.
Oh gosh. All right. Travel the world. So this
Nice.
way I have, a taste of all different areas and they all have a house.
Yeah, I think
I
it's
need a house.
Yeah, but I agree. I think it's just so much better, especially when you're young, to be able to travel and see the world and just get a different view on life. I think that is so important, and especially for you. I think like representing, a lot of people and having your point of view just expanded a little bit. I think it's so important. So,
I don't like traveling, if that makes sense.
but you like
I don't like the
It's a lot to
airplane, the
pack.
car ride. Just put
It
me in the
takes a
place.
lot
Can I
out of you.
teleport there?
You can snap your fingers. Maybe one day.
All right, next one. Would you rather be called clever or be called driven? Tough one.
That is tough. I feel like I'm a combination of both also. Probably driven because I'm already like very determined and that's just
Yeah.
how I've been all my life and I think my pageant journey definitely
Yeah.
defines that.
100%.
speaks for itself.
Yes.
I would say I'm going to go with clever. Paul, one of the best compliments you gave me one time was that you called me witty. You're like, yeah, the podcast works because you're witty. And I was like, what? That's the nicest thing you ever said to me, Paul.
There's a good.
And I'm not, I don't know. I've changed a little bit to be a little bit more driven, but I'd rather be called clever.
Yeah, I'd
'Cause
probably
everyone can be driven, but not everyone can be clever.
That's true. That's
I guess
clever.
so.
It's very clever.
Thank you.
Don't fuel his ego, please.
All right, you're up, Paul.
Last
No,
question.
you got to answer the question.
Oh, for me, I'd driven 100% of the way. I think I'm a pretty driven person already, and just like I have goals and I like I set them and I like to achieve them, and kind of just do my thing. So I think driven for sure. And the last question we have for you before we let you go: would you rather go to a concert or spend the day at the beach?
Ooh. I did see you were at Jack
Who am
Harlow.
I seeing? Who am I seeing at the
Jack
concert?
Harlow. That was my stalking when I was stalking you. I saw you were at Jack Harlow concert.
Jack Harlow or the beach? Jack Harlow. Only because I am from Jersey, so going to the beach is something that we've grown up doing.
It's true.
So you can take that for granted, but you can't see Jack Harlow every day.
We are spoiled with the beach. I think about that all the time because we can go to the beach like XYZ. It's only a 45-hour drive. Not a lot of people get that opportunity.
No, it's really rare, honestly. I was just thinking about, we just had 4th of July weekend, and I had, I was down to the shore, and I was like, oh, we're definitely spoiled because there's a lot of people in the Midwest or in the middle of the country just have one, maybe have never even seen a beach or even been to one, right? So
Trust me, I get it because I got to meet girls from all different states, and so for me to be able to say like, oh, I live 5 minutes from New York City, or the beach is 30 minutes from me, their grocery store might be like 40. Their closest grocery store might be 40 minutes from them.
Wild.
it's crazy.
Yes.
All right,
It
well, let
is.
us know when Miss USA is going down, and we're gonna come. We're gonna make posters.
All right, I'm
we're gonna
holding
face
you to
paint.
that.
Yeah, we'll definitely be rooting for you.
Rock and roll
Thank
event
you.
October 1st. Let us know about that for real.
Yes.
Thanks for coming on. We appreciate it. Your Instagram once again at Alexandra Lakhman, and then also at Miss New Jersey USA. Check them out. Give a follow.
Also TikTok. You can't forget
I
TikTok.
forgot.
Can't forget that.
That's the biggest one. You got to get active on there. Well, I don't know. I haven't seen your page yet, but
No, I'm on TikTok. I am on TikTok. I'm trying to grow the Miss NJ USA TikTok page.
nice.
Awesome. But yeah, thank you so much, Lexi, for coming on the show. We appreciate having you. And
Thank
again,
you.
we are rooting for you and all your endeavors going on
Thank
in the
you so
future.
much.
So
Yes,
thank
for
you.
Sure.
It was so much fun. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. As always,
Music, take us out.
peace, baby.
Later.